Hey, this is Devin with D-Ski Auto Service, and this is 5 tips every car driver should know. Tip 1 is how to check and add oil. You want to find your dipstick, usually yellow, pull it out and clean it with a rag. Get it dry. You also want to make sure that your engine is cold. You want to look at your lines here. This is in the good range. If you need to add oil, you need to locate your oil cap, which will tell you what oil you need for the most part. If not, you can look it up online or in your owner's manual. You want to get yourself a funnel, and you just simply pour it in, making sure to pour it slow and consistent. Then you allow the oil to clear the funnel and you dry it as you take it out. Always make sure to put your oil cap back on. Tip number 2 is to check and change your air filter. So the first step is to locate your air filter box, which mine is right here. And mine is just held down with some fillet screws. So you want to remove all the screws like so. Once all your screws are undone, you just want to pick it up. Here's your air filter. Pull that out and just check to make sure there's not a lot of debris inside of it. But this one, being dark in color, is a good indication that this is indeed needing to be replaced. Make sure the bottom of your air filter box is clean. Make sure it's seated correctly, and go ahead and place it back down and put your screws back in. One trick is don't tighten them down all the way until you get all of them started. Once you get all of them started, you can start tightening them all down. Tip 3 is to check and replace wiper blades. So the easiest way to check it is inside the car. You want to watch if it's streaking. You can also check it simply just by looking at them. You can see here these are definitely bad. Most of your wiper blades are going to use this same style, which is the J-hook. A lot of the times they'll have a cover you have to take off, but then you can just lift it up, push in the tab, and it should just slide right out. That's how they come out. Your new wiper blade is going to go on in the reverse order. So you want to lift up your tab and then slide it in place. You'll hear it click. Close your protective cover and you're done. If you have a different style of blade, they usually will come with a lot of attachments. Now just for the satisfaction. Much better. Tip 4 is checking and adding air. Get yourself one of these cheap tire pressure gauges. You can get them at Walmart or at gas stations. You want to go ahead and remove your valve cap here. They just screw off. And then you just press it in and you'll see the gauge pop out. We're sitting at about 31 psi. You want to come into the door jamb of your driver's side door, and it'll tell you right here, should be at 35 psi. That's very crucial because overinflating these tires can be very dangerous. So you always want to go off of what's inside the door, regardless of what it says on the sidewall of the tire. Go ahead and get yourself an air hose. You can find them at gas stations or sometimes car washes. You want to go until you hear the hissing stop. If yours doesn't have a gauge, you can use your tire gauge to check it in between pumps. Mine is automatic, so it's saying it's at 29.5. Once that's done, just go ahead and take it off. Some hissing is normal. Go ahead and just put your valve cap back on. And then tip number 5 is if you find yourself stranded with a flat and you do have a spare tire, is how to change that spare tire. Best tip I could say is just to know your car. I know in my car, it's just located in the trunk. Some vehicles like trucks or vans, it's a bit more difficult because it's actually underneath the vehicle and you have to crank it down, and it's a tedious process. So again, it's just best to know your car. Take your hardware out. You want to loosen your lug nuts before you jack it up. If it's too tight for you, you can step on it. Now you want to locate the jack point. There you go. That is the designated lift point. That designated lift point is gonna go right in this groove here. You can see here it has instructions for my vehicle. If possible, try to find stable ground. Like mud or gravel is not ideal because the jack can sink into the ground, or the car can fall off the jack. So be cautious where you're lifting it from. Sometimes you have to give it a kick. Then you want to go ahead and put your donut tire on. This is a temporary tire, so I would take it to a tire shop as soon as possible and avoid going on the highway as much as possible. It's best to hand tighten your lug nuts first. You want to just go ahead and lower it down. Now you want to go ahead and tighten these, and you want to do it in a star pattern, skipping every other lug nut. There you go.